All right, ladies and gentlemen, 1985, I was having a conversation with one of my favorite professors, Professor Rodolfo Galan. Rodolfo Galan is still teaching. I just looked him up. It's unbelievable. The internet's unbelievable. You can look people up. He's still teaching. He was my Spanish professor in college. We were talking about the Divine Comedy, Dante's Divine Comedy, consisting of three parts. You've got your Inferno, which is hell, Purgatory, which is purging yourselves of your sin, and then you have Paradiso, which is paradise. And I remember Rodolfo Galan was telling me, I love Dante, love Divine Comedy, don't like Paradiso, he said. He said, paradise is boring, because paradise you're inside this giant rose and you're just luxuriating. You're bathing in ecstasy. And you do this for eternity. And after a while it gets boring, he said. And I was thinking about that as a watch collector, as a watch obsessive. I was thinking about that. As a watch obsessive, I think my watch obsession journey is like Dante's Divine Comedy. Because when I started my journey 15 years ago, I was an ignoramus about watches. It all started 15 years ago. I don't know why it started. Kind of like getting influenza, the flu, a virus came from nowhere, came from outer space. But I was an ignoramus. As an ignoramus, I bought these oversized, imagine this is a 44 millimeter watch. This is some ProMaster land. It's 44 millimeters. And I had been wearing 64 millimeter TV brand watches. You know what I look like wearing these tacky, gaudy 64 millimeter watches? I look like a first year Las Vegas croupier. I look like a bouncer at a Purple Onion in Modesto. And I was living in watch hell. I was in the inferno of watches wearing these TV brands. I had about 60 of these TV brand watches. Here's how bad these TV brand watches were. I didn't know how bad they were. I thought I was buying high quality watches. It said reserve on this. It was like the reserve tier. So I gave some of these reserve TV brand watches to my cousin Nick. And recently he told me, hey McMahon, I was diving with this diver watch you gave me, this TV brand diver watch, reserve level, and it stopped working. I brought it to a watch repair place and they opened it up. They said, Nick, we can't fix this. It's rusted out through and through. The watch is rusted out through and through. I mean, what a piece of junk. So, I lived in watch hell. And I started getting knowledge. When you're a watch obsessive, you want knowledge and you want clarity, because clarity will bring you to the promised land, right? So as I started getting knowledgeable about watches, started to look at what's your quality, what's your price point. I remember about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, I got a first generation Seiko Monster. And I was looking at, okay, this is unbelievable. $200. You're getting something that's really a lot of bang for your buck. And I had to start my purgatory as I got my knowledge and as I learned about some of the higher quality pieces, bang for your buck pieces. I had to get rid. I had to undergo penance. I had to get rid of 60 TV brand watches on eBay. Oh, the pain. That hurt, man, going on eBay and selling 60 watches. Man, I was making a lot of trips to the post office. It hurt. Ooh, wow, that hurt. And so I had to go through my penance. I had to go through purgatory. And then I set sail for Watch Paradise. I set sail for Watch Paradise. And for me, and everyone's different, as I went on my Watch Paradise journey, what I discovered was $1,000 timepieces by Seiko and Citizen was my price point. That was where I was comfortable. Everyone's different. I did toy with wearing a $3,000 Breitling, a $3,000 Tudor black base steel, $3,000 Seiko MM300. For me personally, I'm not comfortable wearing a $3,000 watch. If you are, that's great. I don't tell anyone what to do. I have kids. I know dudes my age who never had kids. I don't say, oh, you need to have kids. I don't dictate. I don't prescribe. I don't issue out dogma to anyone. Everyone's different. So for me, $1,000 is the price point that I'm comfortable at. I couldn't imagine wearing a $3,000 watch and gashing it, losing it, getting it stolen. For me, that would be a catastrophe. It's not a situation I'm comfortable with, and so that's not going to happen. So I set sail for paradise, and sorry about this. We got a lot of noise. What do you got? Garbage trucks. You got helicopters overhead. You've got gardeners. You've got dogs. Why don't you just make a professional studio, McMahon? Is that a robot? Are you getting attacked by a robot? I think we're in the apocalypse. Forgive me. Let's go back to this. So, I don't think as a watch obsessive we can ever find paradise for 3 reasons. The first reason is we suffer from wanderlust. We have to, no matter how good our setup is, we always have to leave. Imagine this, man. You're living on the Mediterranean coast. You're married to a beautiful goddess. You're eating mangoes. You're eating barbecued lobster every day. And you decide to build a ship and to go off into the fog, into the wind, into the storm, and get eaten by sharks, sea monsters, get attacked by pirates. You're going to leave your beautiful goddess and sail the 7 seas. And your buddy says, you're an idiot, man. What are you doing? You're leaving your beautiful wife, your mangoes, your barbecued lobster, your peace, your serenity to go on a ship. Why? Because I'm a man. That's why. And this is what I do. I got wanderlust. You're not a man. You're an idiot. Like I said, I'm a man. So that goes on. I think we just have wanderlust. We have to reboot our life no matter what. You know, it's funny. I'm retiring in 3 years. I want to move. I was thinking of moving to Maui, but the cost of living is really high. I think I want to move to Naples, Florida. Naples, Florida is sort of a no hurricane zone. It's on the Gulf of Mexico side. And I was looking at, oh my God, I could sell my house for $1 million, buy a sweet place in Naples, Florida for $400. I mean, sweet, bigger than my house here in LA. Wow, wanderlust. So that's number 1. Number 2. I think paradise eludes us as watch obsessives. For 1, we have wanderlust. For 2, we have this innate hardwiring to dig ourselves into a hole so we can climb out of it again. I think we get bored or something, but we have to dig ourselves into a hole. We do it all the time. We do it with our watch collection. We end up selling stuff that we wish we didn't sell. We got to rebuy it. We got to connect with that old flame. We got to dig out of the hole, and that's terrible. I just think we're doomed as watch obsessives to never find paradise. The third reason I don't think we find paradise. Earlier I said a lot of our watch journey is about finding clarity, having knowledge. You know what, man? I think a lot of us as watch obsessives, we're obsessed, we overthink, we're on the internet a lot. You know what all that does? It creates brain fog. When you live in brain fog, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to find paradise. You know what you need to do? If you got brain fog, you need to go off the internet. You need to exercise more. You need to eat right. You need to do something productive. I think the brain fog is crazy. Final point. I'm not a Rolex dude. However, I have a lot of admiration for a lot of Rolex dudes, especially the Rolex dudes who are knowledgeable about all kinds of watches, and they've come to the conclusion that Rolex is for them. Here's what I admire about a lot of Rolex dudes. They find paradise. They say, Brother McMahon, come with us. Come with us to paradise, man. I have the anodyne for all your woes. I have the cure for all your woes. All signs point to Rolex, McMahon. Come on, Brother McMahon, join us. We have found peace. We found contentment. We're not searching anymore. Come on, McMahon. Paradise is just a Rolex away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. All right, until next time, I'm out.